Hi, SouthPoint friends and family. It's been a crazy month and a half. None of us expected 2020 to look this way, and we're all navigating a situation that we've never faced in our lifetime. Today, I can't promise you a bunch of answers or even timelines, but what I can do is let you know how deeply committed SouthPoint is to being here for you, your family, and our communities. And we will get through this together. Hey, I just wanted to give you kind of an update on where SouthPoint is at. Now, the first thing I want to be honest about is that in this situation, it remains uncertain. Listen, things have been changing on a weekly basis, and none of us can really predict what the immediate future looks like. If we are honest, we're all really guessing right now. However, we at SouthPoint are working really hard to make our best educated guesses. Listen, Governor Hogan said that there must be a 14 straight day decline in all the COVID-19 numbers to even start the reopening process. Now, with that in mind, SouthPoint is prepared to continue to help you and people connect to Jesus and take their next steps of faith using digital means. Now, we'll look to resume our in-person services when we're allowed to do so and when we feel it's safe. I want you to know that SouthPoint will continue to support you, your family, and our communities, both in practical ways and on our digital platforms. Now, one example of practical help is that we've enlisted former Stephen Ministry caregivers, and they've made themselves available to provide support in this difficult season. If you're struggling or know someone that's struggling that would like some confidential support, you can email us and we can connect you with a caregiver at southpointforyou.com. Now, another example of support is that we're working on adding a family fun night to our digital programming. So I want you to keep an eye out for future notifications of that event coming up. Now, I would like to ask one small favor. Due to our social media algorithms, our content can be missed by many people. It would be helpful if you would share on Facebook and on Instagram or subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss content and resources that we might be putting out on there. Also, just a brief update on SouthPoint's first permanent campus to be built on our property. We currently are working with 2 banks where SouthPoint is in underwriting. And due to the sacrificial giving of so many of you, we're able to continue moving forward with lending. And we'll look to have an approval on that loan in the next 30 days as banks are swamped with the Paycheck Protection Program loans. Hey, listen, there's so much good news. We have record attendance online with thousands of people watching from all over the country. We have people connecting in Zoom small groups. And in the last several weeks, we've had over 140 people say yes to Jesus. We have students meeting digitally. We had an Easter jam where kids were engaged. Listen, the great news is that church isn't a building. It's a community of people who love others on behalf of Jesus. Lastly, I want to remind you that at SouthPoint, we're committed to partnering with you in whatever ways we can. And while we might not be able to understand all the craziness that's going on around us, we can trust in the God who died for us is actually for us. So let's keep holding on to Jesus and loving our neighbors. And lastly, but never forget, you matter deeply to God.